Hello everyone, welcome back to James and Dreams. Google. Google is a dream company for many IT professionals and students too. In today's session, we have with us one of the brightest and passionate mind, Saurabh Shingte, who has landed with a job at this big giant, Google Cloud. First of all, congratulations to you
Thank you. Thank you.
and thank you for sparing your time for today's session.
Sure.
Okay. So, my very first question before that, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm Saurabh Shingte. I'm from Mumbai. I have did my masters in North Carolina State University as a computer science grad, and I've did my bachelor's in Datta Mege College of Engineering, Airoli, as a computer science grad too. It's computer engineering, but it's the same. Yeah.
Okay. So, now the very first question. Masters किया and सीधा Google में placement. So, is everything planned or it just happened?
Well, I won't say it was planned. Uh, well, one thing I was very sure of that. Well, while coming to the masters, I was very sure that I have to work very hard because, like, competition to hai. It's
True.
true everywhere. It's true in
Yes.
India. It's true in the US and everywhere. So I knew I have to work hard, and of course सबको पता रहता है कि हम कितने पानी में है before we start doing anything. So yes, masters was a difficult time. Even bachelors was a difficult time. But at bachelors, you are close to your home. You are close to your teachers. You are close to your friends. So that was a very not very easy, but it was comparatively easier journey than what masters was. But yes.
So, it was not, was it a planned or it just happened? Google.
So it is just happened. So Google came to our college for campus recruitment. It was a very late time in the year. Like most of the students were placed. Most of the companies like had their talk, had their seminars, and most of the students were placed. And Google were sort of late to this. But when I heard that Google is coming to the campus, I made sure that I attend this meeting, I attend that seminar, and I did take notes. I did make notes of when the deadlines are, what they are expecting, what roles they have open. And well, after that, it was a big fight because my graduation was coming like very close. It was my last sem. We did not have much. Like it was just one subject, one course in the last semester. So everyone was just like happy, chilling at home, watching movies, and there I was sitting, need to study, need to focus on like cracking this interview because
Correct.
of course this is one of the biggest like lifetime opportunity you would get. So at that time I had to plan everything, like how I'm going to do this, and what things I'm going to look at, what things I'm going to watch, and what things I'm going to think about. For like, let's say I did prepare for 1.5 month like extensively. So I planned from that point, but before that it was just like whatever comes your way, you have to tackle it, you have to just
Okay.
get through it.
So, it just happened, but you work very hard to achieve that. Okay.
Yes.
So, how did you choose your specialization and university?
For masters, well, let's start from bachelors because nobody talks about bachelors these days. So for
Okay.
bachelors, I remember I had very two clear choices: go for Mumbai University or go for Pune University. But when I started looking or applying for engineering in India, uh, Mumbai University had a good name. Of course, they had good companies. Pune was sort of developing. There were the big companies were coming to the Pune campus, like Pune University campus.
Hmm.
But yeah, I wanted to stay near my home. I wanted to spend time with family because my brother had just left for masters. So I did choose Mumbai University and well got into a great college. So that was my bachelor's journey. And then for master's, well, GRE score for masters is one of the biggest thing which they look at. I'm not sure how it goes nowadays, but when I applied, GRE score and TOEFL score was one of the biggest things what
Hmm.
universities look at. So whenever you get your score, you have your bachelor's marks, and well, you have to research what universities you can get into, and then you select your universities. So you get like 5 to 10 universities which are in your budget, which are in your leap, where you can go. Then it's all about you, that what you want to do, of course, what courses you like, what things you are interested in. Let's say I'm from software engineering, so I'm interested in the core systems, OS,
Hmm.
database systems, some things like that. So I did my research. North Carolina State University was one of the best universities to go in for this kind of subjects, this kind of courses, and that's why I chose to do masters at North Carolina State University. But then if you're coming to the specialization, I did not do any specialization. So there are two kind of specialization. You get a degree like masters in data science or masters in information systems, but there is another thing also where you can get masters in computer science, but then you can follow a track which is specialized for something.
Okay.
So let's say you get into a CS degree and then you follow a track for data science. So you take all data intensive, like data intensive courses,
Hmm.
or else you get into ML track and there you get ML courses like AI, machine learning, different neural networks.
Hmm.
So I wanted a broader perspective. I was not sure at that time what I would be interested, what industry is going industry is looking for that day. So I made sure that I touch all the bases. So I
Hmm.
did all the core courses from all of those tracks. So I have like machine learning. I did a course, a neural network. I did a course for OS. I did a course like for core systems. I did a OS course. So things like that. So I did not do any specialization, but I know a lot of things from different tracks.
Okay. So you might have done internship during your masters. So do you think that internship plays an important role to grab this opportunity?
Well, here's the thing. Well, I did not do any internship because it was just start of
Okay.
COVID, and most like many of the companies were canceling their internship programs. So I did not get an opportunity to do an internship, but I made sure that I spent my summer with the professor I was working with.
Okay.
So I did a full time work with my professor on an end-to-end system which is used in our university for
Hmm.
course related materials. So I took the responsibilities. So me and my friend, like my colleague with whom I was working, so we took the end-to-end responsibility from developing to deploying the actual application which we are doing. So even if I can't say I did not, if even if I can't say that मैंने internship नहीं किया, but that experience was nothing short of an internship. I just
Yeah.
did not get any company's name or anything like brand on my resume, but I can speak a lot about that. I learned a lot of things. I learned how to manage a team, because with us too, there were other people who were working, and
Okay.
so
So I
yes,
can say that
that played an important role
yeah,
when I was interviewing for companies.
yeah. So I can say that internship is not the only way. If you go with this type of work, then that is also
Yes,
going to play important role, correct?
yes. So with internship, there is one benefit, that most of the companies convert their interns to full-time workers.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of the major obstacle gets cleared in your road, that you get a full-time job after your internship is done.
Hmm.
But well, if you don't do internship, you are into that circle and you keep fighting, you keep learning new things, you keep doing competitive coding and you keep improving your skills. I guess that is one of the thing which helped me for Google, because let's say if I got a job, like if I got internship at if then and again if that internship would have gotten converted into a full-time job, then I would have मैंने
Okay.
छोड़ दिया था. I would have enjoyed my life. I would have like did all the other things which I did
Correct.
not do during my masters, like watching movies, going out, doing
Correct.
stuff.
Correct.
So I did not do that, but I did have to focus on more coding because I was not sure that मुझे internship क्यों नहीं मिला.
Hmm.
मेरे साथ जो बाकी दोस्त है उनको मिला. So was I falling short? Was I not doing good? Did I do some wrong courses? Wrong courses, as in there are no wrong courses, but uh, जो कंपनीज को नहीं चाहिए या फिर
Correct.
the companies I am focusing on, they don't want this kind of courses. So I did the full analysis. I did talk with a lot of friends about like what should be my next steps, that I haven't landed any internship yet. So what should I do? So everyone was like, just focus on what you are doing and just keep doing that. And देर है अंधेर नहीं.
Yes.
I
Yes.
would
Yes. Okay. So please share the entire journey of your selection process.
selection for Google.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I said, Google came in around March in our university, and my graduation was on May. So, well, I'm not gonna lie, but I had lost a touch of whatever I was doing. Like, I did not practice coding for, well, 2 months. I did India trip. I was in India for like 2 months. So, and that's why I had to do a lot of, ramp up again to the position where I was. Then, so first I got an email from recruiter that, well, you have selected for the interview process,
Hmm.
and here your journey starts. So first I got OA, which is online assessment, which is very common in the US. If you want to like work for any company, they send you an online assessment. It's like a coding question, like competitive coding question, one or two coding competitive coding questions. So you have to solve them in an hour or two. Like that depends. So that was the first step. Then there usually for Google, there usually a phone interview. So yeah, I'm describing this process for a new grad software engineer, which is
Hmm.
L3 at Google. So for L4, L5, there are different processes. But for L3, you usually get a phone interview, which is like you have to talk with one of the software engineers on the phone, and they'll give you a coding question, and you have to solve it
Hmm.
on a blank page, like blank sheet of paper as in a blank doc. So, well, this is one of the specialities from Google, that they don't give you any sort of IDE. You have to solve the question on the Google Doc.
Okay.
So it is difficult because you don't get any autocomplete. You are used to, highlight getting text highlights, like, if you using void, you get like different color for that, or things like that. So you don't get that. So you have to practice a bit for that to get used to white background and plain texts. But with me, I'm not sure why this happened, but recruiter told me that, I mean, your resume looks good, and they asked for my transcripts from both masters and bachelors. They took a look at it and they decided that I don't need to give a phone interview, and they directly went for the online, I mean, online as in virtual on-site interview. So
Okay.
because of COVID again, this is a virtual on-site interview. Sorry, you guys.
Okay. In general, how many rounds of interviews are there in Google?
Oh, okay. So I said like first 2 rounds, like phone interview and online assessment. Then there comes virtual like on-site interviews. So usually those interviews are like 5 interviews, like split across 1 hour, five 1 hour interviews.
Okay.
So 5 or 6, that depends again on your recruiter, on your profile, everything.
Hmm.
So, and then if you get selected through your virtual on-site interview, then you go for a managerial round where you speak with different managers from different product areas at Google and try to find the dream team or find a dream work what you want to do. So you talk with them, they try to tell you about the team, you try to tell about why you would like to work in that team, or why how you would be perfect fit for them.
Okay. So the choice
So
is given to you.
yeah, the choice is given to us
That's
and to
great.
them as well, because you talk with multiple managers, and those managers like sort of take a look at what your profile is,
Hmm.
what you have done in life, and how you want to achieve your goals now. So it's like
Correct.
it goes on both ways.
Are Google interviews hard?
Well, yes, of course, but again, it depends on well, it doesn't depend on anything. The interviews are hard, as in it is possible that, let's say, if you go for some other company which is not that famous or which is not that big, you would get asked the same question. That is totally possible. But the thing with Google is they'll expect you a lot from whatever. So if, let's say, if you go from some other XYZ company, they'll expect you to solve the problem. But with Google, they expect you to solve the problem with an efficient solution.
Yeah.
Then they want you to describe on how you come up with that solution. They want you to basically uh, like iterate through whatever you thought, what was your thought process, and
So
like
it means
show
that,
them how you arrive to the solution.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So it means that if you well prepared for the interview, then I don't think it is too hard to crack it.
uh it is not that difficult to crack, but again, you need to be thorough with all the concepts, all
Yeah.
the like there are various things, time complexities, space complexities. You need to be thorough with those concepts.
Yes.
You can't you can take their help, the interviewer will help you, but it's not like you can't just ask them like, I don't know, what is this like,
Okay.
what would be the answer. You have to come up with a proper question and then ask them like, okay, what would be the solution? I'm thinking like this, so it could be n square or m into n, so what could be it? So there they can help you like how it is going. So in
Okay.
that case, it all depends on you, like how you ask the question. It's not like you can't just let go and like, हाथ ऊपर करके नहीं होता है.
Correct.
So yes, but yeah, it is difficult.
Okay. So I personally feel that resume building plays an important role in this selection process. Will you please share some tips on resume building?
Sure. So, of course, resume is the only source of truth which they see when you apply at the company.
Yeah.
All the recruiters, all the software engineers, all the hiring managers, they look at your resume and they see you.
Hmm.
So, you want resume to show best of you.
Correct.
So, and people always think that resume should all be about, like big fancy projects or big fancy tech you use. Even if you don't use, you can, like, you people put that in their resumes, but it's not like that. It's about what you do in a project. Even if the project is not that like big, I have developed let's say a web system, like a web application.
Hmm.
It won't be difficult given today's tools. It's not that difficult to build a web application,
Correct.
but I have still that on resume because the application I built, I did the end to end part. So from front end to back end to databases to actually deploying it on the server. So whenever someone asks me about it, I can speak about it and I can tell about it, what I learned from it. So make sure whenever you put something on your resume, make sure that you know that thing, you have done a significant work and you have learned something new.
Uh,
So
see, many times what happened, students used to do a project. Student has to do a project in the final year, correct? But they never
Mhm.
take it seriously. So can that project be a part of your resume if they have prepared it properly?
Okay, so here is the thing. All like the resume I used to apply at Google, my first and like the highlight project of my resume was the project which I did in my in my bachelor's final year. I mean, you have to be serious about projects, as I said.
I still remember that project was quite good. And
Yes.
that time we tried to approach the ministry also, correct?
Yep.
So we had
Yep.
gone through that process also. So that
Yep.
project was of that level. So
Yes.
for the engineering students, I can say that if you work hard from the beginning, so that will be definitely helpful to you to crack any interview.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, so basically, to crack an interview, you have to be thorough with your concepts and thorough with whatever you have done in your life. It's not like I have this project on my resume and I don't know how it was deployed. You
Correct.
can't say that. Like, you can say that, and if it's a big industry level project, if you have worked on that project in your work experience, then you're not supposed to go into that detail or go into that complexion. But if it's a project from your academics, you have to know about everything, even if your colleagues or your teammates or your friends worked on that project. So that's why, I mean, I have kept it at like as a highlight on my resume
Okay.
still.
So
So
how
yeah, it doesn't have to be a good project, but it has to be something you worked very hard and you know everything from that. So yes.
so how important the good understanding of data structures and algorithms and having one or two good projects?
Very. It is absolutely very, very much important to know about data structures, to know about algorithms, and have good projects on your resume, because that is those are the like basic building blocks of whatever you do in your life as a software engineer. So you have to be absolute thorough about all the, like, at least the data structures which are commonly used. Even if you don't know about red black trees which are like particular to Java, that is okay, but you should at least have heard about them.
Okay.
But if you are talking about hash map, then you have to know about, there is something like ordered hash map, which is pretty new in like modern programming languages. But there is a thing like that, so you have to be aware about what all there is, what all you can use commonly if you are doing competitive coding or you are working as a software engineer.
Okay.
So yes. And if I want to speak about algorithms, then, well, there are many algorithms which are needed, but if you think about divide and conquer, if you think about DP, you have to be very clear with all the concepts, how those things, which all problems can be solved by that. So yes, you have to be thorough about data structures and algorithms.
Okay. So one of my observation is that many students think that they are from private engineering colleges or from tier 2 tier 3 colleges. So in that case they think that generally Google or such big giant companies are only for the students from IITs and NITs. So only that people can dreamt about such big companies, and we even can't think about such company. So would you like to comment on this?
Well, it is not absolutely true, because, of course, you can dream about these companies. But I mean, if you think about it, those companies have such a high bar, which is uh, that bar we don't come near to that bar with whatever work we do, whatever projects we do. We have to really think about what we are doing.
Yes.
So whenever, if you are doing a project, like a small project, let's say you have taken a ML course in your bachelor's, even if you are doing, don't just do simple uh,
Don't go according to the syllabus only.
yeah, don't go according to syllabus or just a simple vector machine or something like that. At least try to search about what a neural network is. And even if you don't complete that project, I mean, if you talk to your professor about that, कोई स्टूडेंट आता है बोल के कि आई डिड नॉट कंप्लीट द प्रोजेक्ट बट मैंने कुछ नया सीखा एंड वेल इट इज वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स एंड if you can tell your teacher that this can be important to whatever I'm thinking or whatever I want to do after my job, I don't think teacher को problem रहेगा. It will be a win-win situation for you. So I guess that's where when we think about we are not in a good college, that's what we do. We don't try to cross anything. We are just happy with marks मिल रहा है भाई ठीक है. So I guess that is the main difference from people from IITs and IITs.
So always the student should be ready to try something new, and they should
Yeah.
approach their professors with that new things. So you will definitely get help from the professors. So
Right.
you need to try to break the boundaries whenever you are preparing any subject. So come up with the new ideas. The concept is with you. Definitely the professors are going to teach you the concepts. But by using that concept, you have to cross a limit. You have to cross the boundary where you come up with some new innovation and inventions.
Like, I think companies don't look at your whatever school you are from or whatever college you are from, of course. So they look at your projects and they look at whatever you have did. I don't think they will look at your pointer or marks. They look at, okay, even if you have got 9.5 pointer, do you know how to deploy this thing? Do you know how to use Kubernetes or something like that, which is being used very widely in the current industry? So I guess यहाँ पे हम पीछे रह जाते हैं. हम as in maybe one of these colleges, I guess. So बट अगेन इट्स नॉट लाइक कि अचीव नहीं हो सकता या फिर ऐसा कुछ करने के लिए यू हैव टू कम टू द यूएस और यू हैव टू गो अब्रॉड. There are other places where you can go. Like they have a big hub in Bangalore. They are building they are getting good MNCs in Pune, so you can try to apply. Like I'm sure it's like I have talked with many juniors and most of them don't even have a LinkedIn profile. Like LinkedIn is the Facebook of job market. So you have to have a good profile there and you have to uh, put everything what you have done there. So you can have some visibility if some recruiter is looking for a new hire. So I guess that's where you can start actually. Have a seminar at college which will talk about how to do a job search actually in real life. So
So how important it is to be excellent in coding to get place in Google?
yes, you have to be damn good at coding. It's not just Google. It is true for any other company. If you think about big companies, then of course you have to be very good at coding. If you are not thinking of big companies, you can be some lenient, some here and there is fine. Again, saying that, like having that said, it's not like just coding. You have to need to know other concepts as well. If someone asks you what is virtualization or someone asks you what is abstract class, you need to know those concepts. But book wala ratta nahi chahiye. If anyone asks you what is an abstract class, तुम definition बताओ और उसके बाद you should be able to or you should be confident enough to give them an example there, like that and there.
Okay.
कि ये example है and that is what an abstract class is. I guess तुम ये कर सकते हो, then you are already at a good position.
Okay. So when did you start coding?
I started coding at like second year. I started coding like actually started coding. I remember there was one professor and it was a database course or data structure course. So Well, it's a story. Uh, on the very first lecture, professor said that why there are database systems, why can't we handle files, why can't we put data in files? So I was like, yes, we can do that. So professor, like that professor was like, कि ठीक है, we हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. And I took that personally. I wanted to do that. Like हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं. We don't need database systems. Sorry, I was like very immature at that time. So I just wanted to see that I can do that. And I worked on that code for like 7 days. I whole week I did attend some seminars, but in that like in those seminars too, I was working on my code. I had a simple book, like a small notebook, and I was doing some rough work. I was doing some flags, and I was doing some for loops there, and it
Okay.
was a messy code. I did look at that code when I got placed. I still have that code. That code was in C.
Nice.
That was a very messy code, but that was the first thing I wrote like fully. It was like 320 lines code. Did the work, but it was
Great.
very messy. It was very not good. But I guess that was where I started actually
Coding.
coding, and I got interested into like having that approach to
Hmm.
do something like a coding approach.
So that was a initiative you had
That
taken
was the initiative, you
as a
can say,
challenge. As a challenge, you had taken.
as a challenge. Yes,
That's
as a challenge.
even if you are smart enough. Many times this happened that students cannot crack the interviews. Okay, so what are the soft skills that are required to crack the interviews in these big companies?
Okay, so for interviews again, it is not like like a viva. Don't think it of as question answers. वो पूछ रहा है तुम्हें आंसर देना है, तुम्हें नहीं
Correct.
आया तो it is off. They are looking at a potential candidate. Sorry, they are looking at a potential teammate. They are looking at a someone to work with. So interview is all about that. So for an example, अगर तुम्हें कुछ क्वेश्चन नहीं तुम्हें कुछ कोड में नहीं सूझ रहा है और यू कांट गो like go forward from that position, you can't just say that कि अरे नहीं आ रहा या फिर I don't know, sorry, I got blank or anything. You have to come up with an like exact question कि क्या नहीं आ रहा है और मतलब तुम्हें क्या करना है और तुम कहाँ अटके हो.
Correct.
So if you come up with that question, they can help you in a very easy way, and you can like वहां से वो continue हो सकता है. It is then like you get back into flow, and they also look at you as like you are doing good. So interview में अगर अटक गए, especially for big companies, the questions could be tricky. The questions could be like difficult that तुम देख के you can't figure out what to do. So you have to come up with exact question कि तुम कहाँ अटके हो और तुम क्या सोच रहे हो, and you have to let them know that you are doing this and how this would solve the problem and what are the pieces which you are looking them to fill. So if you do that, I guess this is the biggest soft skill they need from you as a software engineer.
What are the soft skills required in these big
Mhm.
companies to get placed as well as to work with?
uh, well, you have to be clear with your conversation. You have to clear with what you are thinking. You need to have some team building, some team spirit. Even if someone says that your code needs a bit of refactoring, you
Hmm.
should be taken you should be open enough to take that into a positive way
Yeah.
and work on whatever is wrong. So I guess these are the skills they look into you. Of course, there are like things as leaderships, things at managing team. But if you are going as a new grad software engineer, then you can have those skills. You don't need to master those skills.
Hmm.
But for this, like for almost all of the companies, they have HR round or a behavioral round where they ask you these kind of questions.
Okay.
So, have you ever managed a team, or
Hmm.
have you ever got into some conflict with your teammates or project mates or colleagues? So, I guess these are the points where you need to showcase कि क्या हुआ था और what you did to get over it, और वो कैसे in a constructive way
Hmm.
helped your team or helped you to go forward. I
Okay.
guess these are the soft skills which are required.
So, will you suggest some resources that you referred to crack the interview in Google?
Uh, well, there is like for interviews, competitive coding is a big part of any interview, any software engineering interview for any level company. So there are plenty sites on the net which help you to do practice with competitive coding. So you can use those websites. You can There are many YouTube channels. So yeah, of course there are different channels, there are different people,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, which speak about how to solve some problem, but some people go in very detail, some people don't go into that detail. They expect you to that this, so you have to find whom you up good with, and you need to watch those videos. So I watched those videos, I read like bunch of articles. I saw like humongous number of questions on different competitive coding websites. Those help. Those definitely help. Again, there are some reviews from the people who interviewed with those companies or who worked in those companies. So if you read those articles, then you can definitely get to know about what is the culture, and that culture plays an important part how your interview is going.
Okay. So, would you like to say something about Google work culture? Because everyone get fascinated by its workplaces and then office interior and the facilities Google provides to its employees. Even I heard that the no two offices of the Google is having the same interior.
Mhm. Sure. So, our motto at Google is "Don't be evil." So, so that speaks everything. Like your personal life, your daily life at Google, whoever you are speaking with, if someone asks you for help. So as long as work culture goes, it's very open. You can speak with anyone. Like I just yesterday, I mean on Friday, I talked with the director of software engineering at Google Cloud. I I talked with him with some project related work, like how it would affect other teams. So it is very open in that sense. I guess that is the best thing which corporate can have in their work style. Then there are like facilities, like lot of facilities are there. You just don't need to worry about other things. Like
Correct.
your food gets taken care of. You get like breakfast, you get lunch, dinner is also there, which is now suspended because of COVID. Then there are like massage chair. There are swimming pools on campus. So you just don't need to worry about anything else. And on daily basis, I talk with my manager, and it's very open. You don't feel like you are talking with you don't get pressurized that you're talking with your manager.
Yeah.
It's like your colleague. It's more about you can talk about how what is going like on our meeting. We talk about what is going on in your life, and we sort of get to know each other. So I guess that is one of the important things. We don't think it as just a workplace.
Correct.
It's like part of your life. You work there.
Yeah.
So I guess that is a good that is a fun part about working at Google.
Even you can take a nap in between. You can play.
Yes. You can play. There are playstations, there are Xbox, there is a pool table, there are TT tables. Like in every building they have all this, and they have a nap room, which is like they have like specialized chairs, noise reduction. They have noise reduction, so noise cancellation, sorry, on every floor. So you can definitely take a nap there. I always try to refrain myself from going there
Yes.
every afternoon.
Correct.
Yes.
Uh, good, but so now I'm going to ask you some simple but tricky questions.
Okay.
So, which is more difficult, working at Google or getting job at Google?
It's a good question. Uh, I would say getting into Google
Is difficult.
would be more difficult because let's say like uh, as an analogy, I will tell you that like if if you're a good bowler and you want to play for Indian cricket team and you are a very good bowler, but for that selection day or selection week you don't perform, and it can definitely happen with anyone that you don't perform, you don't just feel like it, or just sort of your bad day, that can definitely happen. So you have to do very best, you have to come up with like, getting blank is like the major issue in interviews, like these big interviews. So you have to come back, make a comeback, and you have to establish your flow again. So I guess that is very difficult if you're if you're doing an interview with a big company. So but as same analogy, if you get placed in a team, then for a match, if you can't do a good over, or you get hit for a over, then it's not a problem, you can always come back next day or next over or something like that. So if when you're working at Google, there are a lot of other people there to help you. There are a lot of things you can do, like documentations. If you're not sure what to do, or like you're not sure about some technology, you can read docs, you can watch videos, you can talk with people. That helps. So I guess in that sense, working at Google is, well, it is difficult, the problems are challenging, the problems are exciting, but you can take your time, you can talk with people and discuss your approaches before you actually implement it. So there is some space you get there. So I guess that's why I would say interviewing would be more difficult.
Okay. So, my next question: Google hire most intelligent people. Myth or reality?
Uh, it is not like that. Google, I mean, all the big companies hire the deserving person.
Correct.
It's not like they don't look at your intelligence, and there is nothing like they can look at your intelligence in those interviews. They look at, as I said, potential teammate. You need to know, even if you're, let's say, if you are very intelligent but you are rude, it's like you don't want to explain what you did. It's like you are like, मैंने लिखा है, मुझे मालूम है और ये चलेगा. It's not like that. You need to be open with your approach, you need to have a discussion, you need to get to know what they are thinking, how they want something to be solved, then you can collaborate with them. So it's not like just intelligence, it's like a mixture of all, like jack of all trades, you can say. So that makes you deserving for these big companies, and I guess though that thing plays a big part when getting into like big companies such as Google.
Correct. Google California or Google India?
Well, I won't be a suitable candidate to answer this question, but my manager is from Hyderabad office, which is in India. So I'm not sure which office would be the best to work in. I guess both the offices have all the same things, all the same talented people, and the same work culture. So I guess it wouldn't make a difference to work at California, to work or at India or at some other office, like somewhere other in world. Google makes sure that those offices are like have the exactly same experience.
Correct.
But when you speak about different locations, it's more about the projects which are going on there. So I'm not sure, but I don't think there are many projects in like many projects which deal with, let's say, pixel phones are there in India, and you are someone who wants to work on pixel phones or some features like some camera features of pixel phones. So that even if you are in the US, like let's say, let's forget about working from home. Let's say you are in the US and you want to work from, let's say, New York office, and they don't have a team which works on pixel cameras in New York office, then it's not about the location, it's about the work you want to do.
Correct.
All the locations have like all the facilities, all the same talented people. Again, you can collaborate with anyone in the world using Google Meet or other infra at Google. So it all depends on what project you want to work on.
So, what are the further Google career opportunities that you are looking forward at Google?
Uh, So at Google, there is a lot of exciting stuff which is going on, and I don't even know like 1% of what all other things there are at Google. But I make sure that I talk with people, I explore other product areas, I explore other projects, and where I'm currently working, it's a very challenging project, it's very exciting, and it's going to save like billions of dollars to Google in storage systems. I'm at Google Cloud Storage.
Yeah.
So I have a very good ramp here to work, to do good in my career, and to get promoted at higher levels in Google. uh, but I mean, there can be different new projects which can come at Google, like in future, which I might get interested to it. I just don't want to be that guy like, अरे पहले prepare करना चाहिए था. So I do different code labs. Like code labs is a thing. It's like you can get familiar with different technology. So it's like a playbook which you can go through sort of for Google Tech at Google. So I definitely try to learn something new every month or every 2 months, some new tech or something new which is I'm not actually dealing with in my day-to-day life. So I'm not sure where I would end in like 10 years, but I definitely want it to be better than whatever I am currently.
Correct.
And I guess that's what it matters.
Okay. Coming to your college days, um, what is the thing that you miss most from your college days? Engineering college.
I mean, everything. The first day I entered in college, I never thought I would miss this building when I leave from like after 4 years. But yeah, looking back at it,
You miss
like all the
everything.
teachers, all the 402 sessions we had,
Correct.
all the lectures, all the canteen friends charcha on different things, sports days a lot. I even like used to come to the college on weekends, like on Saturdays and Sundays both, to play something like at
Correct.
least volleyball, cricket, or football for college team. So that's the part I miss most. Like I
Saurabh,
have played very little
um,
sports for like 2 years.
yeah, Saurabh, I still remember that final match in
Oh,
your
volleyball,
volleyball match that you played for the in the final
volleyball.
year, correct? So
Final
you
year,
were
yes.
busy with the football match. You
Football.
you were gem everywhere, be it a football, be it a cricket, or in the volleyball. Okay, so we waited for half an hour only for you so that you will finish up with your football match and then you will come up and join the
और
volleyball
फुटबॉल में
team.
कुछ झगड़ा भी हुआ था, आई रिमेम्बर.
Yeah, very horrible jhagda. But it is okay, fine. That was a fun moment. But that volleyball match was like a remarkable one.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Final everything, सब लोग जान लगा के खेले थे.
सब
Final
सब final year
final year
में
match,
and that
final match for gold medal.
yeah, and that is to from
Computer guys.
computer. And that time we had a sports secretary, and he was from our branch, sports
So, oh
secretary.
yes, 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 yes.
So the sports
Yes, yes.
secretary was from our branch. So our full aim was that कि किसी भी sports में हमको हरना नहीं है because sports secretary ही हमारा है. It's like that only. So any message for your fellow students?
Uh, sure. I mean, as I said, well, engineering is difficult. Exams are difficult, but well, while you are practicing, like while you are learning, while you are studying for your exams, or studying for anything, as a software engineer, look at code. You can't just get away from code. If you want to do software engineering, you can't escape from coding.
Correct.
So I mean, I remember I have bunked lectures. I have slept at lectures, but I made one thing for like I made sure that I don't miss any of my practicals, because that's where you do coding.
Correct.
Even if you miss some concept, you can learn that in the next day. You can go to the professor and talk with them. But in practical, that's a like those 2 hours for you coding. And I guess that was another great thing, that teachers didn't nag with us like ki karo. They give us space. We used to I remember we used to scour the net. We used to search on the net like ye kaise karna hai, wo kaise karna hai. But I made sure I did not just copy the code. I made sure that I understand whatever I'm copying from the net. Even if I copy it from the net, I made sure that I understand that. I see how that go, like how that is written and what algorithm is used there. And I guess that somehow helped to pick up competitive coding later at my academics, like when I did my masters.
Correct.
So well, that is important. And there are like projects which has some marks, and people just do that for marks. Please don't do that for marks. That is very much important towards increasing your coding skills. Projects and projects. So, and like having said that, do fun with your life. It's not like it's not a race. It's like enjoying all those things. I just can't think of, if I only studied for my engineering, I would have missed on a lot of these things like sports,
So you were
culture.
good in the academics too, also that
I mean,
time.
yes,
That time.
but yeah, I was no topper again.
So
I was
not a
like,
topper, but you were good
yeah,
in coding
yeah,
and all
yeah.
the stuffs. Academically, your record is really good. So
Yeah.
you were
So
equally
yeah,
good in the academics as well as in the sports.
sports,
Because
yes.
I know that you played almost all sports.
That was a good platform DMC provided. I got to play all the sports.
So today's students, because of this pandemic, they missed all that fun.
Oh, right.
So
And yes, make a lot of friends. Make a lot of friends, because you learn a lot from your
from
friends. If you get chance, try to uh, talk with any of your favorite teacher or any teacher, because they definitely have a lot to share which they can't in their lectures or in the practicals. They have a lot of to share with their life, or with related to software, or with related to courses. So I mean, have a talk there, and like that helps improving your soft skills and everything. So
correct. So
I guess
so the
to me,
competitive
HR,
coding plays an important role, correct,
yeah, yep, very,
for the computer
very.
students.
Yes, for software engineering, yes.
So
Then comes all the concepts, algorithms, data structures, which are again used in like all the competitive coding. Then your projects, your interest, how deep you know about something you are actually interested in. It's not like कि मुझे ML पसंद है और मैं क्या करता हूँ. It's like Python script, and I just, if I do this, that character and screen will jump. It's not just that. There is entire neural network behind that.
correct.
You have, if you are passionate about it, if you say, like if you tell other people that you are interested in it, at least have some deep knowledge in that. So you can speak about what you know when these things like interviews, or some you meet with some big people or some recruiter, so you can tell them about that. So it's not a overnight thing. It's never an overnight thing. It's a journey which, like all the skills, all the things you learn throughout your bachelor's and master's, come to play on those 2 days or one day of your interview. And those are the things which help you to get back on the track if you get lost at something, or if you find something very difficult.
So thank you, Saurabh, for joining us today. And definitely, whatever the knowledge you share, that will be helpful to the students. And I really enjoyed the conversation with you. Thanks a lot.
Yes, and yeah,
So
before
thank
I go, I would really like to start off with my parents, my brother and sister-in-law. Like they helped me a lot.
Correct.
Then come all the teachers, all the friends, like best, best of the best I got. I mean, for the entire journey and where I am now, it's all because of them and some of my mehnat which I took. So,
Lots of
yes,
mehnat.
lots of mehnat. Well, yeah, thank you again that you gave me this opportunity to talk with, like, talk on these subjects which are, you know, which you don't get much like knowledge about from other sources. And yeah, definitely feel like whoever watches this video or whoever gets any contact from you or anyone else to contact me about any question you have about masters or applying or whatever,
Yeah,
I would definitely like I would definitely love to help.
true.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you, viewers, for watching us. Thank you.